Hey everyone, Sam and Chris from Wyvern Kodiak here. Before we get started, like and subscribe, check out some of the other videos and content that we have on our channels. Thanks a lot. Buerkles Cerakote is a small business based right here in my home state of Indiana. My friend Brad, who runs Buerkles Cerakote, reached out to me and said, Sam, do you want to check out a custom knife that I'm making? Well, of course I do, man. So he sent me one, and you might remember the MIDI Knight. Well, he reached out to me recently and he said, Sam, I've got another one made. It's called The Cog. You want to check that one out? Well, absolutely. And a few days later, here it is. So let's go take a look at it. Hey everyone, Sam at Wyvern Kodiak, and I'm checking out the Buerkles Cerakote Cog. So I always enjoy an unboxing experience. And the fact that Brad puts this in a wooden box like this, it's got really nice, Buerkles Cerakote on here, designed and made, coded in the United States, the Cog. It's just very cool that you have this whole box right here like this. It's not just a cardboard, lid box that you get from some of these major manufacturers. Slide this open here. Your knife is beautifully nested in here, nice and safe. Let's get this thing out because I know I'm excited to check this thing out. Comes in a really nice velvety bag here. So we're going to put all this stuff to the side and let's get into the knife. So here it is, the Cog. And as you can see, it's going to be a wild shape. A, because that's what Brad does, but B, because you can just see that it's got a big old shark fin flipper on it. It's got some real aggressive jimping on here. Lightning anno on the titanium scales. It says the Cog right here. Beautiful anodization on a darn near full backspacer on this. Deep pocket clip on here. BC for Buerkles Cerakote. It's got some anodized thumb studs on here. And a flicking hole, which is kind of banana shaped, so not just your standard pill shape or round little hole. So looks pretty cool. So let's open this thing up. And there it is. Take a look at that. I don't even know what to call this blade shape. I mean, it's kind of Tonto-ish. It has a drop pointy-ishness to it. It's got a whole lot of shapes to it. But I can't identify this shape as any one particular type of blade shape. The blade on here, by the way, I'm not sure which version he gave me. It comes in 4130 as the more budget-friendly version, and it is available in Magna Cut. And then the scales are available titanium or aluminum. So, it's got a budget for everybody on here. If you want something a little bit more cost-effective, or if you want to get super high premium, he's doing them both. So very, very cool, and always like to have some options there. Now, one of the things that I've noticed that Buerkles does with their custom knives is they tend to be really good at touching all of your senses, your sounds and your feels. It's just a really cool experience when you touch. I mean, look, there's this. It's like jimping on the spine over here of the scales, then this really sharp jimping that goes down over here. You've got multiple textures going on here because you're layering on the scales. You've got the cutouts over here. So it's just very, very cool. I dig what he's doing. I think it's a play for the senses. When you put it in your hand, it's not like any other knife. So very, very cool on that. For specs, it is 7.8 inches overall. The blade on here comes in at 3.5 inches and it weighs 4 ounces. So let's do a size comparison real quick. I have a Demko AD 20.5 and I have a Demko Shark Cub. And you can see that it is maybe a smidge bigger than the 80-20.5, but it's really, really close to about the same size as that. And then let's see what else I got here. I've got a Benchmade bug out, and I have, try that again, and a Vosteed porcupine. And you could see that it is bigger than both, a little bit more closer to the Benchmade, but still bigger than both. So it is a full-size knife. The ergos on this knife are going to be, they're not quite neutral, but they're very close to neutral. You can see that there's no finger ramps or bumps in here or anything like that. You can see it has some good lock bar access right here. You can see the tab sticking down there, so always appreciate some access to the lock bar to get that. And he thought that out really well, which is always appreciated. So let's check ergos in hand. I've got double XL hands, so 4-finger grip. And I have more than enough room here, plenty of room to choke up. And I can feel this texture right here, which isn't a bad thing because this is locking me in really, really well on a handle that is relatively smooth everywhere else. So this really kind of helps me lock in really, really nicely here. Get my finger out and I am on the jimping here. I can move it back in here and lock it into this little, it's almost like a poon scoop for a harpoon, but it's not quite. It's just a flare up on the front here, but I'm locked in really nice. And if I wanted to put my finger on the front of the flipper like this, I can trigger grip this thing and I'm good to go right here. Just don't slide your finger down or you're going to put yourself right onto the blade. So other than that, you know, ergonomics are pretty comfortable on this thing. No real major hot spots, pinch points, or anything like that. Like I said, I do feel this grip here, but it is not bothering me. Now, I also haven't used this knife for a half hour cutting up something where I can sit there and say, this is going to create a raw spot on my hand, because this is kind of aggressive and I wouldn't be surprised if it does. But, you know, put some gloves on, all right? I'm kidding. So the ergos on here are pretty nice though. I won't lie. Now, the action on this thing is on bearings, and that flipper, ooh, did you hear that sound? Hold on a sec. Listen to that. Ooh, that ting on the close is spectacular. Let me move it closer to the mic here. So that's so good. Oh my gosh, I like that sound. So action on the bearings, like I said, it does fall to your finger, and this flipper tab stops it from the blade dropping on your fingers, which I appreciate. The open on the reverse flick is easy. The open on the thumb stud is easy. And on the flipper, so the flipper works good, but I did talk to Brad about this. So if you look at the flipper, you can see how the flipper is actually sitting lower than the pivot. And I gave him some examples and showing him some other knives. And what I said was, consider raising your flipper tab because you're going to get more momentum, and like the fulcrum speed of it is going to work. So when you're doing this knife, if you get out further out on the flipper tab, it opens. But if you get really close to the frame of the knife like this, you tend to run a dud because you're not getting enough momentum. You really kind of have to get on it. But again, the action on this thing is really nice. The sound on this thing is spectacular. Super great to reverse flick. The thumb studs work outstanding. So really, really enjoy that as well. So if you're looking for a knife that has a whole lot of opportunity to open or different deployment options, I would say that this may scratch that itch for sure. I think I already went through this, but if I didn't, the The knife comes in a few different options here, magnet cut or 4130 chromoly. The handles, you can get titanium or you can get aluminum, and you can mix and match. So if you want 4130 but you want, you know, titanium handles or, you know, whatever, you can do that. So very, very cool. Really like the ano job that he did here. So let's check the pocket clip, because Brad's my friend, but nobody gets off from checking the pocket clip. So sorry, Brad, but you know, you got to get graded, right? If I'm going to be fair, I've got to be fair. So for those of you new to the channel, I take the knife, I put it in the pocket, I check to see how easy it is to get in the pocket, how good the retention is, how easy it slides out of the pocket, and any damage or long-term wear or fraying to the edge of the pockets that this clip will do. Now, it is a bent style pocket clip. It is deep carry, so I'm expecting this to tuck in real deep, and I'm expecting it to be pretty decent because there is some flex to it here. So, and bent pocket clips tend to do well, so I think we should do just fine. And it did. It slipped in real well. You can see nothing, but the knife actually sits below the pocket line here, so it is truly as deep of a carry as I think you're going to get. You can see I'm pulling on the knife here and it's holding just fine in the pants. No problem whatsoever, not slipping out or moving around or anything like that. And then pulling out, no problem. It is not going to create any sort of long-term damage or anything like that to the edge of your pants. And this knife has a great pocket clip, as expected, with a good bent pocket clip. So Buerkles did a outstanding job. So all in all, I'm really digging this knife, and the fit, the finish, the action is a step up from the MIDI Knight that I reviewed a while back. This is a lot more fidgety of a knife, and I think Brad has taken a big step as a knife maker with this knife, and I commend him because he listens and he takes constructive criticism and he grows from it. And that's all you can ask from a knife maker, is to learn and to get better each time, and he does that. And so you know, that's outstanding, and I'm super happy for him. And I think he's showing that you know, he's making some really good strides as a knife maker, and I'm super happy about that. So I would be remiss without to tell you the couple of things that I did talk to him about. One of them I did mention before, and that was this flipper. So one thing I didn't like was this flipper, and I did tell him bring it up higher, and he was absolutely open to that mindset, and you know, appreciate it. The other thing I had told him was to start looking at doing some insets on the screws. So there we go. You could see that the screw heads stick up. And so he had explained that this is more about holding this second layer on than anything else, but that he is dabbling with inset screws and is going to be looking at some of the other models to start doing that on. So again, showing growth and progress as a knife maker, and willing to listen to some constructive criticism and people that handle knives and stuff like that. And just, I think it's great. I think it is really, really good, and I'm super proud that he's taken these things in stride, because he's an outstanding craftsman. He really is, and I'm super proud that he is an Indiana knife maker and my friend. So anyhow, I'd love to know what you guys think. What do you think about this crazy looking thing? And would you want to get your hands on this thing? Pre-orders are open now, so I would definitely recommend that if you're interested in it, go over to BuerklesCerakote.com and check that out. Go ahead and get yourself one. They are made to order, so you are going to wait a little while for it because they are handmade. There's no CNC machines, anything like that. These are legit handmade by Brad's hands, and I think that is amazing, because I don't think I can do this myself. And they're made right here in the United States, right in my home state of Indiana. You're getting 100% US made, handmade, and that means something to me. I don't know if it means something to you, but it means something to me. And the price is really not bad. They start at like $245. So if you're interested in a custom US knife, go ahead, BuerklesCerakote.com, check it out, pre-order one of these things, and you know, just tell Brad that you know, you saw it on Wyvern Kodiak's YouTube channel and you want to check it out. And you know what? I have no affiliation with Brad. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just simply doing a review on this. So you're not helping me in any way, shape, or form. I just want Brad to know that I'm having some impact for some of his videos or some of his products, and that, you know, my videos are having an impact for people to make some decisions. So I hope that really, really does help. Anyhow, would love to hear from you. Do me a favor, drop me a comment, and if you haven't yet, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. Give me a like and subscribe on this video, and then follow our Instagram at Wyvern Kodiak, and then join us Wednesday nights live in the Dragon's Lair, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's a YouTube live show. We talk about knives, we talk about EDC, we usually have really cool guests on, and, you know, we just have a good time. We'll go for a couple hours. So anyhow, I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed this video,